This is Renee, and welcome to my own little world. Today I'll be flipping through my diary, and you might think, why are you showing your diary on the internet? But I wanted to give out some tips because I've been journaling in this personal journal that I don't know the brand of. I'm sorry, you guys. I just found it somewhere in my house. But I've been journaling every day, and it was very hard for me when I first started journaling to actually journal every day. I finally found out what works the best for me to keep the streak going, basically. And I know the pages are blank, they don't have any lines or graph paper or stuff like that. So in order to see where I'm writing and if I'm writing in a straight line, I put this scrap paper underneath the page so it's visible through the paper so I can still see where I'm writing. There are going to be a lot of blurred boxes. I'm sorry, you guys, but this still is a journal, but I'm going to show you how I journal, and it will get more pleasing to the eye later in this video, I promise. I started this journal in 2014, and I didn't write a lot when I first started this journal. I tried to keep a diary every day, but I felt like it wasn't for me, and I felt very discouraged whenever I skipped a day accidentally, and it made me feel very guilty. And as you can see here, I just tried the normal basic way of journaling and keeping a diary, and I decided to keep the left page open for inspiring quotes, and the right page would be where I write about my day. And then I also did some entries in 2015, and after that I forgot about this book, and in 2020 I found this book again and I decided to pick it up again. And at first it was very hard for me again because, as you can see, I still went in the same routine of of writing on the right page and writing down an inspiring quote on the left page. I started this journal again because of the whole corona situation, and I felt like I needed to basically vent and get out my anxiety and basically write about my anxiety and write all my worries down. But after that, I decided to make it kind of a creative outlet as well. At the end of April, I decided to also stick pictures in and work with kind of a color scheme. And after that, I decided to get more and more creative and kind of go into this scrapbook journaling style. And after changing the style and changing the way of approaching things, I managed to write every day. And I also had some rules when I decided to keep this journaling style. I told myself that I would only journal when I feel like it. So I wanted to keep the mindset of not feeling obligated to write in this journal every day, because sometimes you just don't feel like journaling, and that's okay, and I don't have to feel guilty about it because it's my journal and I can approach my journal however I want to. I know that may sound very hard because you really want to write every day and you want everything to look neat, but turning that knob in my brain really helped me to stay motivated to write every day. Actually, it also made me a lot more relaxed because this way I don't feel guilty when I skip a day. Something that also really helped me is, at first when I started journaling, I thought that it would be a good idea to just keep the journal alongside my bed, because I figured that it would be nice to write down my thoughts at the end of the day. But I found out that it's actually better for me personally to keep my diary at my desk, because I am more likely to write in my journal when I'm at my desk than at my bed, because I associate my bed with sleeping and I associate my desk with working, and therefore not that writing in a journal is work, of course, but therefore I am more likely to write in my journal than write in my journal when I'm in bed, because when I'm in bed I'm actually getting ready to sleep and not to journal. So that's also something that I found very helpful. And you might be wondering, well, if you're doing a kind of a scrapbook approach to a diary, won't it take up a lot more time? But I actually have kind of a system. I decide to pick a theme, and every theme is different and it's kind of random. I just scrapbook and journal about what I like, basically, and whatever I feel like that week. And I decide to make the collages ahead of time, and I decide to make them on a Sunday, because I like to start a new theme every Monday to kind of start the week. So I work ahead and I make the theme for the whole week in advance. And also I have to keep in mind that I have enough space to write, of course. And at first that was a bit hard for me, because I wouldn't know how much space I would need during the week. But after a few weeks I kind of figured out how much space I would need, and my handwriting isn't the smallest, so I kind of learned the hard way at first, but once I knew, I kind of got the hang of it, and it really worked out for me. And something about this journal, I don't really like this journal. Well, I don't like the paper and the quality of it. The paper is okay. There's a bit of ghosting, especially with brush pens and stuff like that. And the pages don't lie flat, which is something I really I love, when pages lie flat, basically. And also a thing is that it doesn't have any ruled paper in it, so it's very hard to see if you're actually writing in a straight line. So that's why I came up with that tip that I gave at the beginning of this video. But I just don't recommend this journal. I don't even know the brand anymore, but I don't recommend this journal if you're not very good at keeping your handwriting in a straight line without any lines. I need guidelines. So, but the last few pages, actually, I decided to just stick in some lined paper or ruled paper and just write on that, basically. I really like journaling because I feel like it's a very nice place to just vent when you feel frustrated, and I've been frustrated a couple of times over the last months because of university, because I'm in my graduation year. I'm not going to get into it very deep, but yeah, it's nice to just write down all of your worries and to write about what happened that day, even though the events might not seem very significant or important. It's always nice to look back later in life, and in my opinion, it would be cool to see how 24-year-old Renee walks around and thinks about life, basically. One thing that I want to do with my next journal is kind of writing more about gratitude and positive things, because I've used this journal basically to rant about everything, and that's something I would like to change in my next journal. As you can see, there are still pages left, but as I showed in the beginning of the video, this journal is a thick boy. And I wanted to have a nice ending point, and I thought that maybe the beginning of July would be a nice point to starting a new journal, because it's the half of the year. And also the spine is almost breaking, so I'm scared that it will fall apart, and I would hate that. I don't like the journal, but I would still hate to see it fall apart, because there are a lot of great memories in there. I'm going to use the 6-ring binder as my new journal, and you might see more of that on my YouTube later. I hope you liked this video. Stay hydrated, stay tuned, and on to my next video. Bye!